Hello, once again, Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I'm a PGA teaching professional, and my videos talk both about the great game of golf, as well as being a Christian and living in the last days. I want to give you a quick tip to help you with the famous over-the-top or outside-in swing path that most people fight. And it's a real simple idea to practice, and it's something that I think if you take out to the range, you can see immediate results with it. And that is simply, when you swing outside in and over the top, you begin your downswing with too much shoulder rotation, and that causes the golf club to come out like this. So a good thought is to make sure you turn your right shoulder back behind you a lot on the backswing. And that gets your hands deeper, more to the inside at the top of your backswing like that. So you turn your right shoulder back, and then swing the shaft and the club down underneath your right shoulder. Turn your right shoulder back, swing the shaft underneath your right shoulder. You don't want to pick it up and start down with the shoulders. You want to turn back and then swing underneath the shoulder turn. The shoulder comes down last, not first. Turns back, swing under it, and then if you're slicing the golf ball, your club face is open. So once you start down underneath your shoulder, you then have to rotate your forearms. So the whole move is turn your right shoulder back, swing underneath your shoulder, rotate your forearms. The move with your forearms is like taking a steering wheel and turning it to the left with both hands. So it's turn the right shoulder back, swing under your shoulder, rotate your forearms. Work on that and trying to blend it into one smooth move on the downswing. Right shoulder back, swing under the shoulder, rotate the forearms. Alright, now I want to get into a little bit of current events and Bible prophecy. I've done some videos in the past talking about FEMA camps. And now, even the Chief Justice, not the Chief Justice, but the Supreme Court Judge, Anton Scalia, has just come out and said that World War II style internment camps are definitely going to happen again. In fact, he even says that you are kidding yourself if you don't think they will happen. You're kidding yourself if you don't think they're already here. They are built, and they're all over the country. And they have guillotines there, too. But what's interesting is he goes on to say that in times of war, the law falls silent. We are in a war, the so-called war on terror. And he talked about how during World War II, Japanese Americans were put into camps because Americans feared the Japanese that were living here because of the invasion and the Pearl Harbor. Well, again, we are at war right now. And the Department of Homeland Security already has the right to detain anybody in America that they feel is a threat indefinitely without cause. And need I remind you that the Department of Homeland Security also categorizes evangelical Christians as the #1 security threat to the United States. Catholics, I believe, are number 8 on that list. Anybody who believes in gun rights, Second Amendment rights, is on that list. If you're somebody like me that believes in the New World Order, you're on that list. And here we have a justice of the Supreme Court admitting that those internment camps are going to be used again. And I'm here to tell you, they're going to be used, and they're going to be used against Americans, and they're going to be used against Christians, and anybody that wants to fight the New World Order system that's coming. And anybody that wants to fight for righteousness and true Christian values will be hunted down eventually and put in one of those camps. Now, I've also been talking a lot lately about the peace agreement that John Kerry's been working on with Israel and the Palestinians. And I've mentioned how I'm not so sure they're going to be able to pull that off. And it's looking more and more like that's a correct statement. Well, John Kerry has been threatening Israel saying that the world will continue to boycott Israel more and more if they allow these peace talks to fail. And then he now has threatened Mahmoud Abbas, that he will suffer the same result as Yasser Arafat if these results fail. So now Palestinians want to prosecute John Kerry for a death threat. I've said all along, you can't force two people to come to peace who really don't trust each other or necessarily want peace. I believe Israel does want peace, but not at the expense of giving up their land. So now the new development is rabbis in Israel are now saying that John Kerry has declared war on God and is bringing on divine punishment. They go on to say that he must cease such activities to avoid divine punishment of God. Your incessant efforts to expropriate integral parts of our holy land and hand them over to Abbas's terrorist gang amount to a declaration of war against the Creator and ruler of the universe. For God awarded the entire land of Israel to our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as an everlasting inheritance to their descendants, the Jewish people, until the time of the end. By the power of our holy Torah, we admonish you to cease immediately any efforts to achieve these disastrous agreements in order to avoid severe heavenly punishment to everyone involved. I've been talking about the warnings in Zechariah and Joel about trying to part the land of Israel. I've talked about the Psalm 83 war, where the Palestinians encircle Jerusalem and try to wipe it off the map. And that's exactly what Iran has been saying all along. They want to wipe Israel off the map, and that's why they want their nuclear weapons. You can clearly see why 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, where it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Looks like the Psalm 83 war is on the horizon. And then, after that war, that's what I think is going to happen. I think that war is about to happen. And then, the 7-year treaty will be signed by the Antichrist to usher in the final 7-year period of time. This book is absolutely unbelievable. And if you're a non-believer, I cannot encourage you enough to open your eyes, open your heart, open your ears, just listen to what's going on, watch the world events, open your Bible if you have one, and open your heart and ask God to make Himself real to you, because He will. We are absolutely living in the last days. And every single thing that this book says is going to happen is happening, and it's happening on a daily basis. And this is just more proof of this. I mean, it should really open your eyes, even if you're a non-believer. It should open your eyes when one of our Supreme Court justices says that we're going to have internment camps without a doubt. For Americans, by the way. And even if you don't believe, it should concern you that Christians are listed as the #1 threat to the Department of Homeland Security. Not Al-Qaeda, not Muslim Brotherhood, Christians. We are definitely living in the last days. Keep looking up. Jesus is coming back soon.